We live in an era where records are taken for granted, but Eddie Hall remains the ultimate biological anomaly of our time. The world remembers 2016 and those legendary 500 kilograms. On screen, we see a triumph, but if you look closer, you see the exact moment human nature failed. The blood pouring from his nose, the burst vessels in his eyes, and the temporary blindness. These weren't just the special effects of sport. They were the body's alarm signal that intracranial pressure had reached a critical threshold, a point where stroke or instant death usually follows. Eddie Hall is a man who consciously stepped across a line where evolution never intended our species to survive. Today, in 2026, he is changing his physique again, gaining mass and testing himself in MMA. But look at his face outside the ring. We see a deep, chronic inflammation that the worlds of bodybuilding and strongman have grown used to masking as a healthy tan or a pump. In reality, his body is a permanently overheated industrial engine running at redline speeds for 2 decades. Eddie has become the symbol of new strength, but I am here to show you the real price of that power, the price they don't write into the contracts. Every breath he takes is a struggle. Imagine a 100-kilogram plate permanently resting on your chest. That is exactly how Eddie's lungs feel as they fight to provide oxygen to a frame weighing 160 kilograms. His heart is a pump working against incredible hydraulic resistance from thick blood, oversaturated with red blood cells. This isn't just sport, it is biological terror that Eddie inflicts on his own cells, just so we will press the like button. We look at the beast as a mythical creature, forgetting that inside this creature is an ordinary human with a finite reserve of durability. The beast within him is his ambition, and that beast has already begun to slowly digest its master from the inside. Every workout is not a step toward health, it's another bet in a casino where his tomorrow is the stake. We are watching the most dangerous game in the history of strength sports, and the rules are dictated not by a referee, but by a pathologist. Let's look deeper beneath Eddie Hall's layers of muscle and charisma. What fans perceive as incredible power, modern medicine classifies as a state of extreme overload. For blood to circulate in a body of this volume, the heart must create pressure capable of rupturing the vessels of an ordinary person. Eddie lives in a state of permanent hypertensive crisis. His heart's left ventricle has increased in size, not for athletic achievement, but for basic survival. In medical textbooks, this is a pathological enlargement requiring immediate hospitalization, yet in the world of YouTube and social media, it's called beast mode. We admire his energy in his vlogs, but have you ever wondered what his sleep sounds like? Sleep apnea is the silent, invisible killer of all super heavyweights. Every night for Eddie Hall is an exhausting battle for every gulp of air. When he falls asleep, his own muscles and soft tissues begin to obstruct his airways under the weight of his own mass. His brain suffers from hypoxia, oxygen deprivation every single night, precisely when the body is supposed to be recovering. It's a vicious, closed circle. To maintain beast status, he needs even more mass. To carry that mass, he needs more pharmacological support. And to avoid dying under that weight right now, he requires more and more medical interventions and breathing gadgets. We're witnessing a man who has turned his life into a voluntary stay in an intensive care unit. His kidneys work like filters in a chemical plant, running 3 shifts without stopping. His joints and ligaments are worn-out cables that could snap at any moment under weights they were never meant to lift by the laws of physics. Eddie Hall is a living, breathing experiment on how long human flesh can resist the basic laws of biology and gravity. But nature never loses in the long run. It always takes what it is owed, and the bill for these years of dominance will be presented at the most unexpected moment. The most important question we must ask ourselves in 2026 is why does Eddie continue this deadly marathon? The answer is far more terrifying than it seems. He is a hostage of his own brand. The second the beast begins to shrink, the second his bench press drops or his measurements fade, he will no longer interest the massive crowd hungry for a spectacle. This is the curse of all modern titans. They are forced to grow or maintain their form until the very end, or face oblivion. We, the viewers, are the very fuel that keeps this destructive fire burning. Every view we give, every comment saying, "Eddie, you're a machine," pushes him one step closer to the edge of the abyss. Eddie Hall is a true hero of our time, but he is a tragic hero in the classical sense. He is perfectly aware that his path has a clear, limited, and likely very imminent finale. He is playing a game where it's impossible to win. You can only delay the defeat. I wear this mask not to scare you, but to make you stop looking at the show and finally see the essence of what is happening. Eddie Hall is the greatest athlete in history, but he is simultaneously the loudest warning for anyone who decides to follow in his footsteps. Extreme strength is a gift from the gods, but in our world, it often becomes a death sentence. In 2026, when technology allows us to go so far in altering our bodies, we must learn to value functional health more than impressive numbers on weight plates. While Eddie smiles broadly at his vlog camera, his internal systems are fighting a war of attrition that cannot be won. My goal as the Shadow is not to tarnish a legend or devalue his hard work. My goal is to make you, the viewers, think. What exactly do you see when you look at the screen? A triumph of human will or a biological catastrophe unfolding in real time? I choose to see the truth, however uncomfortable it may be. The choice is yours, to continue applauding slow self-destruction or to start valuing life above fleeting hype. Remember, for every record, for every extra kilogram of mass, there is a price to pay, and the currency here is not likes, money, or fame. It is the time of your life, which can never be returned.